with that, I think we're about ready to get started with this Yeast 10 Nordics run by GhostKumo, joined on the couch with Schtolteheim, bramhallthefifth, and James Picard 007. So without further ado, please take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm GhostKumo, and we got a special treat for you today. We have a whole bunch of the Falcom crew representing here for our one Falcom representation in the marathon, but it's going to be a good one. We have East 9.8, the open beta for East 10 Proud Nordics, just called East 10 Nordics. It is a very silly thing, the timing they announced the re-release, but this is a very fun game. I'm very excited to show it off. We have a lot of stuff that we get to show off.
I'm looking forward to playing East 10 too.
So we are currently the king of the world, which means that we can just jump off. And yeah, if you want to get an idea of how this run's going to go,
it's going to be silly.
It's going to be very silly. Anyways, so that'll be our means to get started here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to be doing this on the easy difficulty. I know some people are a little upset about that. I can tell you a lot of things in this game can still one-shot me. Doing this on any difficulty higher than this would be very difficult in a way that is as interesting as it is. So I'm going to go ahead and count down and get us started. When I say go, we'll start. 3, 2, 1, go. Cool thing is, we get to skip cutscenes. We're going to get to combat very quickly. We are on a boat. If you know anything about the East series, being on a boat is usually a bad sign. This is one of the few times it's kind of not, but we still get attacked by pirates here. Here's a basic combat tutorial. These ruffians are trying to attack us. That was very slow. Sometimes you want to group them up. We're going to be attacked here by this brunette Viking lady here, voiced by Makoto from Persona 5. Or in the Japanese version, I don't really know what to reference her. Her name is Lynn, but she's a very good voice actress, and I really like her voice for the character. Anyways, we'll get to her later. Here we are in the town of Karnak, in the Nordic lands, which are supposed to be like reference to Norse, like Norway, Denmark, etc.
Even though this is actually in the Bay of Biscayne.
Yes.
Well, I have a question. You said you were in Karnak. Can you buy rods for 750 gil here?
No.
No. Sadly, no.
This town theme.
Alrighty, so we're just kind of going through a bunch of prompts here, and here we're going to run into something called the Lila Shell. If you've played East Origin, that was an item that was in that game. This is very different from that one, but it is a slight reference to it. Anyways, here we fight undead. This dog is like an undead zombie. That is a red drop. We want 3 of those very, very early. We're going to run up to it and find out we can't kill it. So we're going to access our skills here. I'm going to bind Raid Slash, which is a forward dash skill that uses 25 SP. Every character, both my characters have 100 SP. We'll be able to expand that. Replenishes a little bit over time, but that's how we use special skills. Otherwise, we have a basic combo. We have a whole bunch of other different tricks that we can do in combat. You might be noticing I'm doing these weird dashes instead of rolls. Dashing is faster than rolls. We're going to once again fight the brunette Viking lady, attack her 3 times, and then do a just basic combo there. And this is going to allow me to get into this fight with 2 Sonic Slashes ready, another red drop, so that's also really good. Anyway, this is Karja. She is the daughter of a kind of powerful Viking family, and she attacks us because she thinks that we're a strong opponent, and we kind of beat her in a one-on-one when they went to raid our ship because of some illegal stuff that was going on that ship. The person who was running that ship was kind of shady, and she kind of just murks the guy. Karja is very badass, but they also gave her a new costume. And she is our buddy. She is tethered to us by a invisible, unbreakable string called monostring. And this is what kind of puts the two of these two characters together. So like East 7 onwards, the combat's fairly similar to those games, but instead of a party of 6 with 3 members that we can change the slots for, we only have 2, and they have combination duo skills. It's kind of a hybrid of like the OG games where it was just Adol, because you can actually kind of make the 2 of them work together. But you can switch between the 2 of them. They have different pros and cons. Anyways, here we're on the highway. There's a bunch of undead dogs that are attacking these villagers. And we just kind of have to save them.
To be free goes hard.
It
It's
does.
a pretty good theme.
Koguchi, my beloved.
Anyways, speaking of costumes, didn't we meet an incentive?
Yeah, so the costume, I'll get that equipped a little bit later.
Right, just because we're making sure something doesn't go funky.
Yeah.
We'll
Wow.
explain later.
This game is normal so far.
Yes. It might end up de-equipping it later. I'm just going to see if I can do it now. It should just be in my DLC. So we did agree to put on the legendary Claria armor, which is Adol's classic armor set. I am currently in a roll, so it won't let me put it on. Come on.
What?
Okay, we'll just do it later.
Yeah, we'll do it back when we're in town.
Anyway, so these undead are called Grieger. They can only be destroyed by mana, which we now have access to thanks to the Lila Shell and the mana string that now tethers our 2 characters together. Coming up here is an enemy that has armor. We'll explain armor when we get to the next boss, but there's also going to be an introduction to duo combat. The duo button is also the guard button thing to keep in mind. We're going to just do that, 3 slashes here, and that's going to kill him. And then we need to go to the first kind of dungeon, which is in the basement here of this lighthouse.
That giant warthog turned red. What was that about?
We'll get to that later. Hopefully this next boss does it. But the broad and short of it is certain attacks have either a blue or a red aura around them. And what I have to do, if it's red, I need to press the guard button, which is also the duo button. If it is blue, I just need to hold down the sprint button and run away.
Yeah, so sometimes the boss will either turn red or you'll lose 30 seconds.
Yes. This run is very unforgiving because you your time depends on what bosses do to you. Okay. So now we have double smash. The skill doesn't do a ton of damage, but it has a really high break stat. So break is what determines how much damage you do to armor bars. Karja's default skill is actually really good for dealing break damage. So we're just going to shred this boss's break health bar. And then I'm going to switch over to Adol, who's going to be doing most of the main damage. And that's kind of how they work. Karja, I tend to set up for break damage. Whereas, okay, there. So I guard that, and you're going to see a little quick time event come up. I'm going to skip the scene there, and then it's just going to do a ton of damage, and we just kill the boss. This is like last third health very quickly. All right, so now we're going to check in for the night, and the town is going to get absolutely ransacked by Grieger. So a lot's going to go bad very quickly.
As it is wont to do.
Here's a bunch of NPCs. We'll see them a lot throughout the game. They'll get referenced quite a bit. More important to the story, not especially important to the speedrun. They do nice things for the boat, which, yes, there's a boat in this game. We'll get to that.
Eventually.
Yeah, pretty soon.
When I played this game for the first time, I skipped all those cutscenes, and then the town was suddenly on fire, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, this is why you don't skip cutscenes in a Falcom game.
Yes.
You just don't.
I still love that meme with Daybreak.
Yeah, the Daybreak 2 cutscene escalating way too quickly.
So this is Yurth, silver-haired woman. She is one of the main Grieger. There's these 3 big ones that we're going to see throughout and will be introduced early on. All right. So we can't really defeat her yet. She's about to lay a finishing blow on us, but then we get a vision, and then we get warped to this place called Viewpoint Isle. We're going to be warped here several points throughout the run. It's supposed to be a place that teaches us a bunch of abilities, but...
Those glowing platforms are for easy mode, by the way.
Yes. Well, they're actually an accessibility setting that we turn on because they actually make the run a little bit faster. Not super important to the run. I will turn them off if the whale incentive gets met, just because I think that set piece is a little cooler with them off. So here's a warp point that I'm going to be setting for later. And then there's this old man just plowing the fields. He's very important to the story, but we'll see more of him later. A couple sonic slides here. That should finish these guys off. And then we're going to get into an escape sequence here. The fastest way to get through these is to just intentionally fail them. That is the same for the whale scene, so if we get that incentive met, we'll play it out normally. If not, we'll just skip it. I think it's one of the cooler cutscenes, one of the more iconic scenes of this entire game, so I would love to see that get met.
So please, don't.
Yes. Also love to see the super boss get met.
Would you?
I am doing this slowly, but... Sorry, what were you going to say?
No.
And then we proceed like it all happened.
Yeah, I love when games just let you say, "Can't we just pretend I won?"
Yes.
Anachron-
Let's not say we did.
Anachronox right after this has a lot of that.
So now we are on the boat. If you're from, the boat is very slow. We do get something called a monosail, which is like a boost. You can see my speed is on the wheel on the bottom right. The little blue meter that overlaps into orange. The thing to know about boat speed in this game, I kid you not, is to let go of the joystick and let the winds carry you. After you reach a certain minimum speed, though, however, I enabled 2 players. The PC version of this game added a 2-player mode. It's kind of an experimental mode, and that actually enables a lot of the skips in this game. So if I hold forward on both, it stacks the speed for both, and I'm able to get a slightly faster max speed than I would from just using monosail and holding forward. And as we're going to get into a ship combat here, it's kind of bad. There's not a lot of ship battles in this game, but they're kind of not very fun in the speed run. We did turn sea battle assist on, which makes these a little bit less annoying. That doesn't usually happen where I kill it by ramming into it. Okay.
Yeah, typically you're not supposed to ram that.
Usually it just kind of comes on our side, and we use the short-range burst fire, which does a ton of damage. Otherwise, the basic cannonball... I forgot to turn 2-player mode off. Otherwise, the basic cannonballs are pretty... just... The cannonballs finish it.
Yeah. In this case, it just ran up to you and the front fell off.
I am still kind of perplexed at why they let Casey Mongillo do a British accent, but I think they did a terrific job with this character. He's kind of adorable.
Yeah, Casey Mongillo is great.
Yeah.
They really are.
Let's not go this way.
Anyway, so we're trying to go to bed, and the tether is only like 3 or 4 meters, so it keeps just pulling Karja with him.
So yeah, they kind of have to share quarters.
Pretty much. It's very awkward. That should be a chance to equip these. I'm going to put that on. Like this one slightly better.
Sheesh.
All right, Bram, I need you to rate my drip.
I mean, there he is.
9 out of 10.
As God intended.
Shout out to Octopath. Anyways, this is just a bunch of scripted stuff where I have to go around talking to NPCs. I get free money. So Draco, if you got anything, you got a moment.
Sure thing. We got $50 from Champion Beef. And we have a callback to that. We've got some love from the couch, actually. We have $50 from Schtolteheim, who says, GG Beef and freedom.
Real quality stuff, huh? Hey, see?
We also have $5 from Cell, who says, donating because I know GK loves puns. What did the boss say when things went wrong? What? Don't worry, I've got a backup plan. That's what I've got. Good luck with the run, and here's to getting that super boss fight unlocked.
All right, so I need to upgrade speed there, otherwise I lose a few seconds. It's actually not that big of a deal if I don't get it, but we like to go fast.
As fast as the boat will allow us.
Yeah, the boat is very slow.
This is before they invented motors.
Yep.
Yep.
I didn't do a voice language incentive here. I'm kind of cool with either dub. It's kind of funny that Adol's English and Japanese voice actors share a couple of other roles, so it's kind of like I'm used to hearing them both with things.
Like, they're both Aaron Yeager, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Probably their most famous roles, respectively.
Yeah.
Okay. Go fire at you. Get up next to this guy. Kill with burst fire, and then... That was very quick. So that was very good.
Nicely done.
All right, onwards to Delecto Island, which is where we're going to get to the first dungeon of the game. So at this point, we've headed off to Karja's hometown as kind of a escape. And over the course of this game, we're going to be kind of like rescuing the various villagers of Karnak, the first town that we were in, who all were basically like taken by the Grieger for some unknown reasons, which we'll find out basically by the end of this chapter.
Are we there yet?
No.
You think we can make landfall on that island?
I think we can make landfall on that.
I will turn this boat around if you don't stop complaining.
Oh my god.
I want to go to McDonald's.
With that, that's a real threat.
No, he won't turn the boat around. He'll just capsize
He'll
it.
just spin it, yeah. Battle's kind of famous for sinking boats, so it's it was kind of funny when we all saw that this game has a lot of boat stuff going on.
Oh, yeah, it was sacrilegious.
But
To be honest, there's like only one boat crashed. He fell off one time, and I guess there was that raft in 5.
it's like 3 or 4 times.
Falcom has leaned into the meme more in recent years.
Yes.
So I do the jump off of that pot there to save a little bit of time. And here we are entering the first dungeon. These are seals. We have sort of like a quasi-sphere grid kind of thing that we can equip these to, which you're going to get a tutorial for right here. First things first. So I'm going to unlock this, put a sword seal on there, and then I'm going to unlock this, which is going to give me Falling Edge, which is a 40 SP skill. This is one of the main ways you learn skills in this game. Falling Edge is going to be very important later. It's not going to come into play too much here yet, but
Let's catch our breath.
this is good for now. Here we're going to get introduced to speed attacks, which I just have to be holding the sprint button and not doing anything, and I will dodge, and then I can kind of do a little counter, and that's going to kill off like 3 of these guys. That was very nice and quick.
Damn it! Be fast, Saddle!
And then also we're going to be now introduced to Mana Bursts, where our characters have elemental skills. Karja has Ice, which can be used to create platforms in the ground. It can also be used to inflict Frostbite on enemies. Adol gets Burn, which is supposed to break this kind of briar here. You can skip one of them with that jump there. Gonna do that for a little bit of EXP. And then up here, this little warp point here is called a Hewnstone, or Hoonstone. I don't quite know how it's pronounced. Anyways, this allows me to make another one of these sword seals. I can actually make a 3rd. Interesting. Okay, I thought I saw they could make 4. Anyways, I can equip these to my lines here, and those give me like bonuses the more you stack the same element in a row. Or the same color in a row. In this case, it gives me extra burn damage and then extra damage after a mana burst. So I'm going to hit this guy with a whole bunch of Karja's mana burst, which is going to freeze the boss eventually. And that's going to allow me to do double damage while the boss is frozen.
You'd best be frozen.
No, just
That was
chill.
nice and quick. Normally he does an attack that I can do. A power attack guard is, I believe, what it's called. We don't really have a name for it. I thought it was Mana Burst for the longest time until I realized I got those mixed up. But that didn't happen. We killed it too quickly. All right, so I'm going to mana line up to this guy. And we're going to see the first instance of 2 players being effective. That was not supposed to happen. All right, so I'm going to use the guard button, which sets my 2 characters. I'm going to use my second controller here on my lap to enable 2-player mode, quickly switch characters to the other character, and then disable 2-player mode, and that's going to allow me to skip past that gate there. I was just shy on EXP. Not a big deal. I'd like to be 15 for this fight because it makes it just slightly quicker and the enemies are on the way. But it's not a big deal. We're also going to lose most everything that we get in Chapter 3 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so here's a big boss. His name is Ithi. If you see the kind of, the letter that looks like a D, it's pronounced Ev. So if you're unfamiliar with how the alphabet in old Nordic languages works, that is how you pronounce that. The characters thankfully do a good job of demonstrating that. A thing that's important to remember about Mana Burst is it, wait. I don't get it till later. I'm like forgetting my route here because I'm so busy trying to focus on commentating.
Some help we are.
Yes.
Commentate!
Okay.
So he's trying to drop the boss's health to 0,
Yeah.
and that will make him closer to the end of the game.
Yes. So Mana Burst actually replenishes SP, which is why you're going to see me doing it a lot, as well as the additional chance to inflict status like Burn and Frostbite. Unfortunately, this boss has not done any of his specials, which can actually be deflected. So this is kind of a slow fight. A thing to keep in mind is my attacks. When I'm in the middle of an attack animation, enemy attacks do significantly reduce damage. Okay, here we go. I messed that up. Timing on that can be a little awkward sometimes. Oh well, so that's that boss. That is Iddy. He is a giant puppet Grieger who we find out is actually Dogi, Adol's traveling companion throughout the entire series. The first clue that it is him is that he breaks through a wall to get in here, is that is kind of his trademark, is just breaking through walls. But yeah, the Grieger took like the more sentient Grieger took the villagers of Karnak and effectively turned them into giant puppets.
They are very lucky that Karja turned out to be a good character. Because in developer interviews and promotional material stuff, they admitted they thought about making Dogi the second playable character in this game. And it would have been first time he's playable in, what, 15 years or so? But they decided to focus on Karja instead as sort of the foil to Adol. And I do think it worked out really well. Karja is a great character. But they robbed us of our bromance, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, I don't know. They let us play as Dogi in 7. They haven't done it again.
Yeah, he's usually like a buddy for your like raid missions.
I mean, they make XPs of him in most of the other games. Like, Durin is just Dogi with a different hair and voice actor.
I mean, obviously, Dogi is just too broken.
Yeah, and East 8 has Sahad, who is another flavor of Dogi.
East 9 has the cat, who's Dogi's daughter.
I respect this. All right. Anyway, so we're gonna set Dogi free, and that's gonna be the end of chapter 2. I am running splits on the side here. It is mostly for notes because there's a lot of things that if I forget, it's kind of bad. I do have an autosave, but I do have autosaves enabled, but it's just kind of good to keep track of. All right, so we have a quest now. It's pretty simple. We just need to go talk to an NPC, bring stuff back, and that's going to let us soup our ship up with rapid fire artillery. So we got a down moment here, so you got a chance to read some stuff off, Draco.
Thank you very much. We have $10 from My Hero Zero, and we also have $50 from PX Makaya, who says, GL, big boy. We also have $25 from Money, who says, good luck, GhostKumo. Let's pray for some good RNG during bosses.
Thanks, Money.
Shout out to
Thank
Money.
you.
They're doing the French restream commentary for this. I'm excited for how that all comes out.
Yeah.
All right, so here I can equip rapid fire shells as like an additional armament for my ship. And that is the quest, the only quest that we are going to do this entire run.
Oh.
As most of them are done on the ship, and we kind of end up disabling that feature entirely because of glitches. So here we can have fast travel on the overworld here.
I can't hear you.
That's not how it's said, Karya.
It's pronounced Karja. They do pronounce the J.
Oh.
I know they're not consistent with the Nordic pronunciation. There are some weird ones here, like they have a character named Gren, which I think was supposed to be Glenn. Another character named Filio, which I think was supposed to be Freya, but like I don't know. Some things were consistent, some things weren't. Just kind of a weird oddity.
Yeah, that just happens when you're trying to translate.
However many hundreds of thousands of characters.
Well, and also Japanese katakana that are trying to reference
yeah.
awkwardly transliterated words from different
Oh,
languages.
the names of some of the Grieger. Oh, this is a treat for you. I forgot this was in here. So the original theme song that plays here is kind of bad, like in a way that's like actually damaging to my ears because it's like it sounds like tinnitus.
So I was close.
You were. He thought it was going to be one of the things from the April Fool's album of a Falcom remix group called Resonant Union, who graciously allowed me to put some of their music in a playlist for this marathon. This is just from Trails in the Sky the Third. I thought it would be funny. The music here, it actually is so... The particular choice of like sound that they use is like so bothersome to my ears for what they tried and didn't quite accomplish that I didn't want to put the sound of tinnitus in your ears for 5 seconds. So
You just put the sound of Gilbert.
Yes, we love Gilbert.
I mean,
Also,
absolutely. I'm all
also
for that.
Also voiced by the guy who voices Adol.
Yep. Talk about range.
Much less serious character.
Honestly, Gilbert is that's one of my favorite performances from Bryce Pappenbrook.
Yeah. All right, that's the only time we hear it, thankfully. But
Darn.
No more
Yeah.
rating.
yeah, that was a fun thing that I thought Schtolteheim would be very amused by as he ran Trails in the Sky last year. Trails in the Sky 3rd specifically, where that track is from.
God, speech, a magnificent bastard.
All right, so here we're coming up on, I forget the name of this island, but
Looks like we can land there. Wanna check it out?
Oh, there he is.
Fishtail Island. Okay, so it's very important that I do here is, skip all that. I go to that hewn stone there. It doesn't matter where I hit this loading zone from. And then I'm going to purify it and get an extra mana point. Doesn't really matter there. But what I need to do is de-equip all my sword seals and then turn them into a sword seal plus and equip that.
I still can't get over that stupid music.
It's so good. All right. Like losing my train of thought here because Schtolteheim is balding. Okay.
You chose to have me on here.
Yeah. And
I asked and you didn't say no.
all right, so we're coming up on another Puppet Grieger. There's a ton of these little mini boss guys here. So what we're going to want to do to try and get a quick kill on this guy is freeze him really quickly, which... Okay, so next up, switch to Adol. Okay, we got the quick kill just barely. In that animation, he starts to... Oopsies. I unplugged my controller. Let's see. Okay, it's still fine. Hey, James. I was going to ask Schtolteheim, but he's kind of in an awkward position for this.
Darn.
So here's what I'm going to have you do. When I tell you, please press this button.
Okay.
Okay, and we're making this a co-op run here. All right.
I missed that fight. Can you do it again, like 20 more times?
No.
All right, press the button, please.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the part where
And
the
then we just
Grieger
stand-
says it's Grieg
All right.
time and Grieg's all over us.
Yeah, so this is Other. We're supposed to intentionally lose here. Okay, you can press the button again. Thank you. So activating two-player co-op mode actually makes dying there quicker. It's an intentional death. He now hits us with a curse that's just going to force us to fight the Grieger, or we will die in the span of like 3 months, is kind of the story behind that. But we're going to do a major glitch here. So first I'm going to set the frame rate, that's on display, to 30. And then I'm going to make a save. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go fishing. The best minigame in RPG history is a part of the run, and it's what breaks this game wide open.
I mean, get cursed, go fishing. Makes sense.
So Hod would be proud.
All right, so the minigame here, I just have to mash the X button until either one of the prompts comes up or I get a fish. I'm going to open up the... Actually, I'm going to let one of you guys explain it if you're comfortable doing that.
So he mashes really, really, really fast here to open the menu, and that causes Falcom things to happen.
That didn't work. Okay, this is why we make a save.
Yep.
I don't know why that didn't work. It usually fails in a different way. Okay, but yeah,
Anyways,
Give it a shot.
you can keep explaining because it's going to take a lot of words, and I probably won't have enough time to visually demonstrate it.
Yeah. So he does the fishing minigame as normal.
That's it.
He catches his fish. He starts mashing to open the menu as fast as he can before this actual sequence ends.
That's not it. Okay, I need to do it again. It really only takes 2 tries. This is annoying.
Okay.
It doesn't fail that often, and then when it does, it usually works the next time. So I don't know what's up with this.
Marathon luck.
Yep.
Gotta bite.
It's one of the annoying things about running PC games. Sometimes the PCs behave differently, and you don't know if that might be why or not.
Yeah.
Ready and... That's it, huh?
Nice lip syncing.
Okay, so we're going to return to title, and then the next cutscene is going to play instead. And then this sets us to what we call the title screen file, which is very, very busted. So we're supposed to get a surfboard here later, but this file we're on has like all the debug abilities enabled. Also, since we had the Sword Seal Plus equipped, we now have one in our inventory that clones itself infinitely. So we have infinite Sword Seal Pluses for the rest of the run.
And we also
so-
can BLJ now.
Yes.
Ruins used to be built.
We have a longboard that we can surf, and it's fast going down surfaces, but slow going up surfaces. Turns out you can actually backwards long jump.
Why? So,
Okay, that's gonna get annoying very quickly, so we're not gonna
Okay.
keep doing that.
So
But
basically, you run the mana board into a wall, and that sends you backwards. And if you just mass jump up a hill, it'll get faster and faster and faster.
yeah, I cannot skip this scene here. So we're gonna go back to Viewpoint Isle. And we're gonna do this area in an unintended order. The game wants us to go across the water that's in the little like lake there. But since we can actually access later portions of this isle,
I can't believe I just
Just
heard
use-
Adol say alley-oop. What has this world come to?
all right. So I have the ability to do Mana Sense, which is a later game ability, and that's when you see invisible objects. I pick up an Axial Plus there. That's going to be useful for a little bit of extra break damage. It just happens to be on the way. I can also unlock this gate that I'm not supposed to open for another few chapters. I did remember to set the difficulty to easy again. And then I'm level 3 and have no equipment, so I need to kill enemies. So we're gonna just Xenoblade 1 these guys and just knock them into the water, and that despawns them and kills them.
That's going to be our bread and butter for leveling for the next while, because we are horrifically underleveled thanks to the fishing bug.
Yep.
This is Sparta, our way to victory.
Yep. In there is a bitter remedy. Those give 1,000 flat EXP, which is going to be very nice because EXP in this game kind of scales. So having the ability to get flat EXP is going to give us like 3 levels later for a boss that we absolutely. That was not the button.
Oh yeah, and we can stop time too, by the way.
Okay. Do it again.
The mana sense is a little bit annoying. I think by default it's like the skill bumper plus is it R3? Or is that what I set it to?
It's L2 and R3 on my controller. You can bind it to a different thing. Anyways, that's 13,000 flat experience, which is going to get us from level 15 to level 19, which we really, really want levels for the next boss because it's very, very annoying without him.
Even in more modern East games, level scaling tends to be pretty harsh.
Yep. So I'm going to knock this guy into the water. It's going to despawn him. I'm going to hit these guys, aggroing them, and I'm going to make sure that I drag them over this way. They're going to be very dumb.
No, I'm sure he went that way.
Good old vehicular homicide. Nothing beats that.
we did go that way, just that they can't connect the 2 points.
That's true. We are probably from their point of view, we're just bouncing through the air, and they figured they could do the same thing.
Yeah. It's not our fault they can't see the invisible platforms.
This is unfortunate.
We don't deserve this experience because we're not the ones killing us.
Not. Okay, now it's going to...
We're innocent.
So in here's a break elixir. This raises break damage by 3. It's not a lot, but more importantly, it can be used to sell, or it can be used for selling. Okay. All right, that's plenty of EXP. All right. And then in this treasure chest here is going to be a luck elixir. Again, it's going to be for the same purpose of just selling. So we're supposed to go through this area in a different direction, but ultimately it meets the same endpoint. I need to mana line over to this guy, and here's the old man going fishing.
Because, fishing rules.
So now we have the board where we're supposed to have it, and we can just go sailing. Getting all those levels there, also, Karja and Adol share XP, so she's also leveled up to 14, thankfully.
This is one nifty antique.
All right, so Karja also is affected by the debug file. She has a skill called Storm Axe on her triangle skills there. We want to build that up to Mastery, and when you master certain skills, they get an upgraded version. In her case, it's a skill called Blizzard Axe, and Blizzard Axe... I'm going to get this guy for a little bit of extra EXP. Blizzard Axe inflicts Frostbite, or Freeze, as I'm going to call it. And that is kind of one of our bread and butter combat skills, as we saw earlier with a couple of the bosses.
Thankfully, in this game, skills level up the more you use them. So if you have a skill that's already good, you can just spam it and it'll be even better.
Yeah, in her... Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm aggroed onto these enemies. I'm going to save. Load the save.
At E7,
That's going to reset enemies.
At E7, that takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, so this is Sea God's Incense. This increases my max SP by 10, and that is really important for a key threshold. Nice benefit is that since Storm Axe takes 35 SP, I can use it 3 times without having to wait for it to replenish. Also, I want to apply it to as many different enemies as possible. You charge it faster by hitting new enemies rather than like repeatedly spamming a skill on the same enemy. As a note, by accessing debug file, not only did I lose all of my armor, all of my items, all of my stats, basically dropping me to level 3, but also dropped skill mastery. So Adel will have to reset his falling edge use.
Okay, let's ride.
Mead?
Mead.
Yep, do
Yes,
remember the
thank
need
you.
here. I'd tell you to remember the wenches too, but they're kind of stuck to you at this
Oh my
point.
god.
Rude.
That was- I have in my notes here a reference to a song by the band Ailstorm, because it's one of the only songs I could think of that has the word mead in the name. And that's a reminder for me to pick up the mead, which is going to be, it's kind of a safety thing for the super boss, which please get your donations in to get that met. I'd really love to show that off. It's one of the few times we've ever actually been able to show off a super boss in an East speedrun in a marathon. But picking it up just for safety, this is a minor deviation here. So Draco, you got a moment for donations or reads?
Sure thing. Well, I would like to take a moment to talk about one of our sponsors, Dragon Roast Coffee, which is
Coffee.
a small, passionate team of coffee roasters that are dedicated to making coffee for gamers and the gaming community. Visit their website at www.dragonroast.coffee and enter the promo code RPGLB25 at checkout for 10% off your order. In addition to their coffee, you can also purchase an exclusive dual-insulated RPG limit break tumbler available only for this event. And the best part is that for all purchases made using the promo code, Dragon Roast will donate a portion of the proceeds to NAMI. So, what are you waiting for? Get out there and fuel your adventure with Dragon Roast Coffee today.
I'm sure the guy running after us could get a kick out of that.
Oh boy.
Or-
I think Palmer's already said he's spent quite a bit on coffee.
I don't
All right, so
doubt
I'm going to do 3 Sonic Slides here, and that's going to let me get over to this mana line point, saving a little bit of time. There's a bunch more of these little, I guess, water bugs that just happen to be really in the way. It's probably overkill for EXP, but why not?
Better safe than sorry.
I mean, it's not really a safe thing. It's kind of a flat number, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I did it!
So that's probably going to get us to level 20, which is a little extra, but it's going to save us just a tiny bit of time on the next boss.
So fast.
God, Adol is such a dork in this game.
I mean, so this game is actually in between East 2 and East 4
Four,
in the
Celceta.
chronology. So this is a much younger Adol. He's like 17 in this game, as opposed to 9, where he's like 24.
Here goes.
I think in interviews they said they were just interested in kind of, you know, giving a more free-spirited, young, bright-eyed Adol for the next game after kind of the darker tone that 9 took.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Of course, nothing in this game is ever referenced in the other games, and that's because at the start of Celceta, he loses all his memories.
I suppose.
I mean, you know, now we got the fun chronology. We got 1, 2, 10, 4, 3, 5, 8, 7, 9.
Counting with Adol.
6, 7, 9.
Okay, so I
Up
equipped
6.
the heart. So I
5, 6, 7, 0, 9.
okay. So now I have Blizzard Axe available. A little earlier than it needs to be, but I just got extra hits along the way. So now I don't need to hit anything more. I also reached level 19 there. That's what I want to get for the next boss. And I used an item called the Heartfire Tome, which increases my revenge gauge. If one of you wants to explain revenge gauge for me, please.
Or do we want to do it after this fight?
just do it now, please.
Basically, when you get attacked while in duo mode, you get revenge, which is basically a multiplier for your next duo skill used. And the tome gets us a higher multiplier.
Yep, a higher max multiplier specifically. Each, like, if you guard an attack that can be guarded, you get 0.2 added to it. If you get if you get like a well-timed guard, it's 0.7, and
I think
if it's a glowing red attack, it maxes out.
yeah.
And we found out normally the game's supposed to cap it at 5, but although it's not in the run, we do have a means to get well past the cap, which anyone who's played this game on an Inferno might have seen. Let's replace this with Cross Edge. All right, so this is Magnadiga. He's a very stupid boss. Somebody likened this boss to a toilet, and that's pretty apt, surprisingly.
A skivvy toilet?
No.
There's your one, Vram. I allowed you one reference to that.
Didn't do the one that we wanted either.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a laugh or a cringe.
Okay, so the deal with this boss is that he has an attack where he'll suck you into the center, and he'll do a bite. And this bite is supposed to just one-shot whoever's active at the moment. The thing is that when they programmed this move into the game, they kind of forgot that you can just perfect parry everything.
Falcom kind of underestimates their players, like, all the time.
Oh, it broke through.
I'm gonna suck again.
The timing on it is admittedly pretty particular. There isn't a great...
Oh, that didn't work. I'm gonna do it again.
There isn't a great visual tell for when the bite's going to come and you can perfect parry it.
Oh, that didn't work. I'm gonna do it again.
It also likes to lag is the annoying thing. Something to mention is that it's actually better to do mana bursts while in midair, because you can spam them more readily, and the end lag is a lot less.
Yeah, in older routes of this, before there was a glitch that reset your characters to wet noodles, this fight would be over in about 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah, we have no weapons right now, do we?
Nope.
No, we do not.
This is why we run on easy, because anything higher than easy for this fight is awful.
Dogi would be proud of us fighting with our bare fists.
How is this, anyway?
That was what?
How's this? How's this?
Oh. I think
I'm
we're
sorry,
too sleep.
I'm so focused on the timing of this fight.
We're too sleep deprived for clever jokes, Bram. Come on.
Is there fire and ice?
We don't actually use that skill in this run, is the funny thing.
What?
Yeah, so he's like lagging here, which is making guarding this kind of tricky.
But yeah, it's worth noting that this, like, that bite attack is basically a one-shot. Unless you're, like, I mean, in a normal playthrough, if you're, like, slightly overleveled, maybe Karja can tank it, but basically has to nail all these guards. And if he mistimes it slightly, it can just knock him back, and that's slow. Anyway, pretty clean.
Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't get the early blue, which I think makes it faster. Skip it eater.
I told you were allowed one.
You're over budget, Bram.
I think there was some kind of clause about there being an extra.
No.
No.
All right, so we're on to another puppet. We're on to another puppet Grieger here. And once again, we want to freeze him, which is going to increase the amount of break damage that we do.
This one we managed to stop from Grieging all over us.
All right, so there you saw me perfect guard that, get the quick time animation, does a lot of damage, and maxed out my revenge gauge. So burn isn't quite as effective as freeze, but it does a lot of extra damage over time.
And yeah, that cinematic riposte, you only get one of those per battle.
You get one of those per special attack, because some bosses will have both a fancy speed attack and a fancy power attack.
Yeah, basically that.
Okay, that's the puppet down, and
Purify.
So this is one of the town NPCs. He gives me a few buffs to my ship, which doesn't really matter too much yet. All right, so this is a really annoying current. There's an even stronger one on the other side that we're not supposed to cross for a while, but yeah, we'll see about that.
You can always break an East game.
Yep. 2-player mode here because this is just a faster way to accelerate. I'm using both of my hands.
This game has kind of proven to be a little bit more resistant to the usual shenanigans we put the other ones through, but by the standards of most, video games that exist, this is a pretty broken run.
Yeah, with a lot of Falcon games, I mean, on the surface, they're pretty well programmed. But once you find that one little loose thread, you can kind of unravel the game from there, and that's what happens with a lot of East games. Like, Celceta got broken that way, 8 got broken that way, 9 got broken that way. 10 has been a little more resilient, but...
This is also the first ease on Falcom's new proprietary engine that started with Trails of Daybreak 1.
I mean, you never know when something is going to break. The whole reason this sequence break even works is because of a cutscene that plays no matter the story flag, when normally they're pretty good about that.
I forgot that this de-equipped, so we're going to put that back on.
And thankfully we can.
Yes, because it is DLC that is always in our inventory, and thankfully that is not corrupted by the debug file.
I'm re-rating the drip to an 8 because you had to equip it a second time.
So be it.
Such a lively town, too. Let's give the place a once-over. Granted,
So yeah, this whole place is wrecked. We kind of need to, scout around, see if anything's going on here. We're gonna find some more Grieger lurking around the place, and I get into one of the more annoying fights because again, we still have no equipment, so we're gonna fight a puppet Grieger as well as some kind of tough little add-ons or adds to the fight. So also I can BLJ off of this. Yeah. But we can inflict breeze here, or freeze here, and I actually want to be spamming skills because I can take a lot of damage here.
Does this character ever show up again in the rest of the game?
I don't know if he does after. I know he appears at I think more than once, but not really that important.
The guy on the right, yeah, he pops up in some side quests, but never main quest again, I think.
Okay, I think I know this fight.
Okay, so get that off. Yeah, so Cross Edge, despite the damage numbers in the menu looking similar, actually does way more damage than Double Smash. He staggered me mid-animation. Come on, I guarded that.
How's this?
Come on, dude. Okay. This is kind of slow.
I feel like Adol and Karja are going to need throat lozenges by the time this run is over.
It's okay, I've
Yeah,
got
there's
extra.
a lot of screaming.
Very, very anime.
Okay, and that is the end of chapter 3. And here's the part where we're going to start breaking things. Yeah. Even more than we already have.
More.
Here's where the title screen stuff really impacts the run. So I'm going to make a save here. And then I'm going to go and do the fishing glitch again. This is a wrong warp kind of glitch that saves about 20 seconds, assuming this is done well.
Let's give it a shot.
So instead of going to the title screen, I'm going to instead load the file that I just saved that was in Chapter 4. Since this was a file that I made during the run, this is still valid.
Yeah. You're forcing a cutscene to play when it doesn't expect to.
Basically.
And that makes the game all sorts of confused.
Yep. So it warps us to back to Terminal Island, but we're in chapter 4 in the we're in the story state that we left the game in. This is only so that I can come back here during chapter 4. There's this NPC in this tent here that sells us stuff, and he sells us better weapons so that we're not walking around with air swords.
I think I remember calling the guy in this TP Squall.
Eh, whatever.
Okay, yeah, now I get it.
Whatever. We finished here?
And so that allows us to equip armor so that we're not just absolutely getting wrecked and doing no damage. And also because of some jank with the stuff that we've done in the story state, it's telling us we're not supposed to proceed, but we in fact can.
No.
No.
These are international
No.
waters. Your laws don't apply here.
All right, so once I get slowed down here, I make a save.
You're supposed to be blocked by this current, but we can just disregard the rules.
Everyone.
Yep. So it's going to actually reset us to where we just were, and I can just use mana sail to get my way through here. I don't think that's enough, so I'm going to go into the menu here, and that actually resets my mana sails, so I can now escape through here. So now we're just sailing off to the south. Schulte, you ready?
Yep.
All right. 1, 2, 3,
4.
Or
What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Way hey, when she rises, way hey, when she rises, way hey, when she rises early in the morning. Put it in the bilge and make him drink. Oh.
Okay, yeah, so there's a lot of sailing, so that's the perfect time to sing a sea shanty, and as well as to send it over to Draco to please interrupt our stupidity for a little bit.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can we get an adult on the mic, please?
We have $25 from Jado, who says, "Hey, Ghost and Couch, shatter this game to pieces."
Jado, I think you have done more than enough of that. Jado is a good friend of ours in the community, very nice fella, very talented speedrunner, expert glitch hunter for these games, and several other games ranging from like several indie games to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. He had a hand in that, so, but...
The most menacing thing you can see in your life is Jado on a voice call.
With somebody else, like in one of the speedrun discords, because that usually means he's labbing. There's a good chance he's labbing something that's going to break the game.
Or a post in a Discord channel from Jetta that just says,
I have an entire collage of that and people responding, Jado, no.
We have a days since Jado broke something counter over on the East Discord.
Yeah, we've also added Mabo as well, Japanese runner. The two of them have the Raging Bull role in the East Discord. Raging Bull being a character from East 9, but they are also like a bull in a china shop that just keeps breaking things
And
in
we
these
love them
games.
for it.
And we love them for it.
Yeah.
So shout outs to those two who have done a lot of work on this game. As well as Ame4128, for whom I am not worthy. He is just absolutely like, he has pushed any percent in this game in every category to like a limit that shouldn't be possible this early on after its release.
So, hey, what's this shiny thing over here?
So this is a Liberation Island. We're not actually going to do it, but it does give me the access to refit my ships, and I have all the debug mode refits.
What?
We just max out our
damn!
We did a good job.
Wow,
Or,
this is almost tolerable now.
Yep. The ship goes way faster now.
We're zooming along.
We're zooming
Hey,
along.
Adol, we're really sailing away.
All right. Drago, have you got anything more? Please interrupt us one more time. There's a lot of sailing back to back here.
Don't give us the brain cell back.
Okay, we have $25 from The Moon That Wanes. And we also have $25 from Genesic Gun Leon, who says, "Good luck on the run, GhostKumo. Wish I could stay up to watch, but it's for the best since I still haven't beaten this game yet."
Fair enough.
And we also have $50 from Wonder J, who says, "Love a good super boss fight. Let's see it."
Yeah,
Yes.
we're getting closer.
Yes, the cutoff for that will be the end of the run. I can do it sooner, but that's like the hard cutoff for that. Also, the whale cutoff is now, so if that hasn't been met, we'll just skip it.
I regret to inform you are going to be skipping it then.
No.
Okay. Unfortunate, but we still have one more incentive left for this run, so please, any donations toward that would be much appreciated.
The final showdown with Shin.
I hope the hull's okay.
Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, you're supposed to do it off like a little life or a little rowboat that's just sitting there, but yeah.
The animation just looks so goofy. I can't get over it.
So here we're gonna equip fighter helmet, which gets us additional damage, additional skill damage specifically, and then it's gonna do this now because the next boss is a pain. Yeah, I want 3 on her. And this just increases her ability to, like, inflict frostbite.
Yeah.
So next up, we're gonna sail off here.
Okay, let's go. Go, go, go!
All right.
We're going. We're going.
Now, ordinarily, this game's pretty rock solid. Like it says, hurry to Balta Island, which is a different chapter set entirely. But the whale scenario here is just triggered by, you know, going to the right spot on the map. This is here no matter what. And this is basically what allows us to skip all of Chapter 4 and a good chunk of Chapter 5.
Normally, Falcom is really good about making sure you can't trigger cutscenes or events out of order. Like, if you don't have the right story progress, then you won't be able to just jump the story progress forward by triggering a cutscene out of order. But that is like the one cutscene that is not tied to story flag in this game.
Pretty much. So this guy is a big, giant whale. I like to think of it as a cameo from Trails Through Daybreak 2. All right, so we're skipping this. It's a pretty cool scene, honestly. I recommend playing this game and checking it out. It's probably the most like memorable cutscene of this game for like just actual like cinematics.
And we follow that up with a blob.
Yep.
The blorb.
Yeah, when I
Crafty Nidarian.
first played this game, there was like one jump that kept messing me up, and I ended up actually skipping it casually. And then when I played it in English a year later, I saw the whole cutscene. I'm like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, that was kind of me with Sky SC after a particular boss fight, which in early versions of the game you could skip completely on accident.
Skater!
Yeah, so that's how she gets away with saying the S-bomb without actually saying it. They just invented their own swears, but they also have existing swears. In the Japanese version, she just says something more standard.
Yeah.
All right, so he's gonna bury under the ground, wait for that to appear, and then we're just gonna do that. And cross slash does a lot of damage against this guy.
This guy want to turn red at any point? Or...
I mean, he already did. I already
okay.
blew it early.
Sorry, I fell asleep
That's
for a second.
unfortunate. All right, so
Oh.
the character is down. I can hold triangle to rescue them. It uses half of the current health of whoever's still
Hey, did he
alive.
beat the boss?
But yeah. And then that's going to finish the boss.
Yeah, so when you're resuscitating your partner, you get a ridiculous amount of iframes for some reason. So on harder modes, a lot of your boss fights are just going to be 90% just you rescuing your partner
And,
over and over.
and
and over
hoping
again.
that the iframes are enough.
Yeah.
It's still kind of like that even on this difficulty, to be honest.
And what
Because everything in this game just one-shots you.
And what usually ends up happening is the boss will one-shot you, but you will have already revived your partner, so it's just switching back and forth.
It's like whack-a-mole.
Doing CPR.
The key thing I just got there is Blazel Cross. This is the best damage dealing skill we're going to get in the run. It's also very useful because it's a forward midair slash. Okay. Just making sure I have everything. So yeah, it's just going to shred these enemies.
And on that note, the fact that GK had to pick up or at least felt like he had to pick up a revive item for the super boss, despite the fact that that resource mechanic is in the game, you can tell that it's going to be some prime garbage in a good way.
Yeah. He says he's excited to get that incentive met, but I'm not so sure.
I don't know. I think y'all should like throw some money so we can just see how excited he is.
So here we're
Hey,
clipping.
that's cheating.
Here we're just clipping through the door, and here we're going to be introduced to, or we're going to meet one of the 3 puppet Grieger that we're going to fight in this dungeon. They freeze easily. Usually.
How's that?
Russ,
And how's this?
and then Blaze Cross will do the finishing blow.
Like
So that's how we're able to skip its entire second phase. Because all puppet Griegers have a second phase, but if you do enough damage before they charge up their armor, you skip it.
And like we've mentioned before, all these monsters are actually people. So like I think the last guy was some guy's deadbeat dad or something.
I think it's the third one.
He just deflected me. Oh well.
Dear.
Hopefully he does the clap. Do the clap. There we go.
Whoa.
And then that just pierces through his armor. So that was slow, but I just kind of didn't manage my my SP very well. All right. Next up, in this chest is a Warrior's Gloves that increases break damage a little bit. I'm going to Sonic Slide over here, get to this enemy, and that's going to let me skip like a lot of the ground level. And then I'm going to Mana Line on here, wait until it's about halfway down here, and then we're going to get across the gap real quick like that.
Let's tackle it together, says Adol, leaving Karja behind.
Yeah, I can 2-player clip through that gate, but enemy aggro makes 2-player clips a lot more unlikely.
Yeah. You just kind of got to use your discretion when you want to go for it.
There we go. Nice and quick. And then, of course, ELJ.
And we got to go back for a quick.
Yep.
But now we can go.
Yeah. Basically, there's a character that we met his deadbeat dad, and then we freed the guy himself, and then he kind of wants to just kill his dad, and we end up stopping him. Anyway, here's the second fight against Yurth. It's not the final one, but it is the first one that we actually kind of like get the upper hand on her now that we have the power of mana and everything, and like have experience. So kind of a bit of the story with this game, because I haven't touched on that too much. We need to defeat all three of these, like, I guess, lead Grieger within the span of like 2 or 3 months. I don't remember the exact amount of time, or we will die. And as such, Karja and Adol have been sworn shield brother and sister, or Kyodai in the Japanese version, which basically just means sibling, but it's kind of a term well associated with Yakuza as like sworn sibling. Where is my SP? Okay, there we go. That fight kind of stank, but whatever.
HP reached 0 at some point.
Yep. So here I need to cash in. So I've been picking up I didn't need to talk to you, Cruz. Come on.
Go away.
Unlock Rapid Shell here because I picked up some basic craft stock, and this is going to allow me to have something to fire out of my cannons because the title screen file has nothing available on your ship, even like basic functions that would otherwise be there.
Okay.
We're going to warp here. It's going to end the chapter. And now we're going to be doing a bunch more sailing. The thing about the rapid shell that we really want is it lets us kill like these little turrets that we're gonna see along the way, and they're gonna drop a bunch of resources. But anyways, back to more boats. As fast as boat is, and as much as I'd love to sing you sea shanties till the sun rises, I'm gonna send it over to Draco. Take it away.
All right. Well, we have $10 from Tempest Mask 1000. Who says, sheesh. Tempest here. I always appreciate GhostKumo's commentary for RPG runs, so it made plenty of sense for me to addle up and slide in a donation for a Griga purpose during his run. Each time I peer into this franchise, I find something new to enjoy between jams like Sunshine Coast, plus the supporting characters like Dana, Aisha, and Kaja. Most of all, the games seem to invoke the spirit of adventure more and more, and it's marvelous. Some extra love to the English voices, especially as Bryce Papenbrook for Adol and Jeremy Lay for Kaja. In conclusion, big shoutouts to the Yeast community, and as always, my homie Bram for teaching me how to run the first game on the Master System. Wish I could be there, you all. Now then, switch up and burning dance your way into greatness, Ghost.
Thanks for
Thank you.
Thanks for staying up, Tempest. He's on the East Coast, so.
Yeah.
There, I'm picking up another Heartfire Tome. I'm activating this just as a warp point. The additional mana point doesn't hurt either.
Let's catch our breath.
I also just bought a better weapon. So, there's that. Menu's a little different because I have the mead. I'm BLJ my way up here because this is just the fastest way to get speed. As funny as it looks, it is definitely very fast for movement. Because it's actually kind of hard to get speed. If you're on a flat surface, you just kind of repeatedly get off and on the board because you just lose momentum so quickly in this game. It's really hard to go fast.
The movement is still pretty satisfying in this game.
This is probably faster than anything in any of the other games, right?
Other than maybe Gale Shoes in East Celceta, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, depends if you count vertical momentum.
Oh, yes.
Very true. All right, so this section here, we're just gonna get into a race with the old man. I did not need to let go of that there. Whatever.
You have to win this one, right?
Yes. Very hard to lose, but I have lost it in a run because I fell in a pit trying to do something cheeky. And so I don't do that anymore. I just kind of take the safe route. It's very hard to lose this.
Why are you
Otherwise.
racing this guy? You've got to hurry to Balta Island.
Both islands on the other side.
Fishing buddy wants to race. I'm not going to question that.
Yeah. We're trying to go fast, and he wants us to show how fast we can go.
Didn't Cold Steel 3 have something like that?
Oh, yeah. Was it CS3 or was it CS2?
Fine Millium?
Oh,
That-
no.
No, that's one.
I thought you meant the motorcycle race.
Oh, boy.
Orbital Bike is best girl.
You can't say that in the Trail series, man. There's too many. There's too many actually good ones for an ironic answer. All right, so next we need to climb up this island and figure out what the heck is up with Karja. She has basically been passed out, and we don't really quite know why. Okay. This is definitely not the path I'm supposed to take. I'm like losing my bearings here. All right, here we go.
Sorry, I've been hogging the brain cell.
Can I have it back, please, Schtolteheim?
Fine.
It's not letting me through.
Being a solo character is a little bit dangerous in this because you can't block red attacks if you're alone. This is also true if one of the two partners is incapacitated.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you die when you run out of HP. Whereas if you had two characters, you die when they both run out of HP.
So if you're familiar with the word berserk, that actually originates supposedly from Viking lore. So Karja here is going to actually go literally berserk.
Range. That was close. Climb off.
We don't really know what the heck is up with her. And our crew kind of gives us crap because they think that we're having a lover squirrel. And in a surprising moment here, well, you'll see. Switch map. Since Adol's a silent protagonist, he's not allowed to like communicate too much. Although I think he does have enough personality on his own anyways. All right, so we're gonna go sailing off to the southeast here. One of the more annoying dungeons of the
I think
run.
we can drop anchor at that island.
We're not going to.
Okay, let's get back into the swing of things.
But I think we can.
Andros, away!
Try steering safely this time, maybe.
They think they're having a lover's quarrel, and she's kind of, or just kind of great. She's raised as like a Viking princess. And she's not exactly like,
Won't happen again.
I don't know.
Can be surprisingly
You eventually
ruthless
like meet her dad, who is like just a total like Viking.
One of those things the Krieger have been using?
Stereotypical Viking warrior
Well,
dad.
Something like that.
Well, he's also like a leader of his men.
Yeah.
It's also great. He's voiced by Sung-Won Cho, who is kind of does a really great voice.
Oh, he's
character.
fantastic.
But
It's the same voice he uses for like Archibald in the YouTube skits.
I hope my daughter got the point.
in any case, though, he's kind of a great character in this game because he's very like he I don't really know how to explain it. He's like
He's great.
he's not a particularly great guy or even a great father, but like he's not like a terrible person either. It's kind of interesting what they do with him, as like the relationship with him and Karj is like handled pretty well in a way that I feel like makes thematic sense and is like generally pretty interesting, even if he's not like the most likable dude.
Yeah.
This is kind of fun.
So
Is it?
killing
Yeah.
these to get like a bunch of extra drops.
So Kumo, you run East 9 as well.
Yes.
Do you have a... Do you like either run more?
New island. Maybe
I like them for different reasons. 9 is very dense. 10 has just a lot of variety. 10 is like the only East we have left that you mostly play the game like all the way through as opposed to just skipping most of it. I promise that won't be the case forever.
No.
This game, we already have like the pieces of a really broken run. We just haven't had a way to make it all come together.
we can't mono
It's only a matter of time until the neurons fire in Jado's head.
He's not us. he's somebody.
Yeah, he's smart.
The self-deprecation. So next up, gonna make sure that I have this
really-
equipped to Adol.
The tradition is usually that something gets found right before the marathons. I'm kind of surprised that it didn't happen this time.
Yeah.
I did find some very minor tech in the time since, but nothing that big.
That
As a-
just looked really funny.
As a kind of tangent, the funny thing is, we had the inverse happen. I commentated Mario and Luigi Partners in Time earlier this week. Great run. I recommend checking the VOD out for that at some point. But we found a bunch of whole tech was discovered right after the run. So, all right. So we're gonna
Yeah.
clip Adol out of bounds here. Use Blaze Lacrosse twice, and this is just gonna skip a whole bunch of this castle here.
That was smooth.
It's not usually. It doesn't usually go that easily.
some solid teamwork up top.
Look at you just no-selling it, doing the skip while talking about other stuff.
That was solid teamwork.
Yeah, I helped.
Emotional support.
How rude. He went in the other direction.
Yep. So
Yeah, they went over there. Ah!
So you do have to take him out in order to activate this large stone, which is required to advance. That is a shield star, is not very useful, but none of the like upgraded seals are that useful, unfortunately. But we will get one that is.
Make tracks.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. The blinking cursor.
It's not actually faster to do this. I just like doing it.
Yeah, it's fun.
A lot of HUD elements are going to glitch out as a result of, I think, the fishing skip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see a little tab above the mini-map on the left edge of the screen. That's supposed to be like your direction.
Yeah, it's supposed to be telling you to go to Balta Island.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna see if we get Thunderdomed here.
Let's get beyond Thunderdome.
Sure, I equip these.
I wonder if the next one will be red.
No way.
Yellow.
Are you a wizard?
Come on. So actually switching a character off actually replenishes the side character's SP a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So that's why you see me switching off a fair bit. So Logger here is one of the three. He's kind of just the most, like, I guess, romantic of the bunch. He's just in this for, like, to see the drama unfold. Ow.
Logger just drives you to drink sometimes.
Yes, he does.
I love holding the invincible button down.
Yeah.
We skipped the first Thunderdome.
He has one attack that we really, really, really don't want to see.
Yes, and we nicknamed it the Thunderdome. As of, like, a week ago.
Like a damn game. Shield Runner, we need to step it up.
We made an emote in the E server.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yes, we have six emotes in the East Discord, and one of them is this stupid boss's, like, special attack.
Very good fight.
If I didn't get, like, the last 20% of his health there with that Blazel Cross, which thankfully I saved my revenge gauge for, I would be sitting there for 2 minutes just watching him unload attacks that aren't even that hard to dodge. It's just 2 minutes wasted.
You know the final boss of Kingdom Hearts 2? That, but unironically.
Kind of, yeah, like as a gameplay mechanic. And since it's all speed dodges, you just literally run around in a circle. It's not even that interesting.
And he baits you by, like, warping down to the field where you can hit him.
Flumen S.
But
Ra.
it's not the real him.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of his fake clones. It's that's kind of Logger's gimmick.
Roiling patch of sea.
The current's as intense as it is complex. Lower your guard and we'll be swept up in no time.
This isn't how humans talk.
Sure. Are you trying to call him like a Reploid or something?
I'm just saying he talks funny.
It's fine.
Yeah, he's British.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I apologize to our host.
Sorry,
My
Shadow.
couch.
Unforgivable.
I'm talking about him.
Weather's just right for drying laundry.
I'll take
It's fine. We love you, Draco. And Giotto, too. He is also British.
I don't know why I thought he was Aussie.
No, he's Giotto.
Goes to show how much I know.
Anyway, so the sequence here is all screwed up of how these cutscenes kind of work. We're going to go to this island like 3 times. Somehow I tend to forget this one, but I do need to activate this because otherwise I have a very long trek back.
Should be a good spot to rest.
Unfortunately, I don't have the mana board here, so I can't really BLJ.
Darn.
Now you have it.
Yep. But along the way, I need to deal with these wolves. They're gonna. This is why I picked up that item that increases drop percentage. These wolves are gonna drop items called red sea stones and enchanting leathers. These. Dang, I'm getting nothing. These are essential for.
Are you getting nothing, or is it just invisible?
It's just not dropping. I can tell when I get them. Okay, there's one of each.
Hone in.
Actually, the visual indicator isn't showing up either, so that's kind of making this hard because it is supposed to show up.
Again, some of the HUD is missing.
So I do have 3 sea stones. I just need, oh god, I need 3 of the leathers. Thankfully, like, they're decently likely to drop. These guys also drop beast parts. There's 2. An extra sea stone I don't need. But I need 3 of each of those for crafting a really useful accessory in the next part. I don't know that I need to pick this up, but I will do so anyway, just for some extra stock. And once we get here, we're going to warp back out to the start.
Okay, let's go.
It's going to take us off of the island, and then the reason we activated that merchant ship here is to create a fast travel point here, which is just... The story sequence here is kind of all messed up. So we need to talk to these 2. This is Carge's dad, Grimson. He's kind of a... He definitely embodies the just, like, take no prisoners kind of, like... You know, he wants a good fight, and his fighting style is really interesting because he's just, like, all offense, no defense, which is really interesting because we will eventually fight him later. Oh god, come on. Okay, that conveniently dropped what I needed, so I no longer need to kill those guys. I will kill a few more just because the EXP is really good, and I want to get to a certain level before the next chapter boss.
Right.
That boss is going to be the last point we actually do upgrades. One of the longer BLJs, a little harder to steer. I'll stop mashing the button to try and steer a little bit more, just because you have better control when you stop mashing the button. So once I'm done with that, warp back to, whoops, warp back to the coast.
All right, let's go.
And we can buy stuff off of our ship. We don't have access to the ship thanks to the title screen file, so I have to go with our crow buddy who helps us out. This is Hugel. He's a good bird.
A rare unjerk bird.
What about Paro?
What about Paro?
He's not a jerk bird, but he is annoying.
He's arguably not a bird, but look, we won't talk about that.
Here goes.
Okay, I think we're good on EXP here. So in that, on my previous trip here, I unveiled a hidden chest. It drops an item called a seal called a Sin Star seal. Sin seal, I don't remember exactly. Though it has the word sin, so you know it's menacing. The way it works is the lower my health, the more damage I do. It's not a huge bonus, but it's kind of nice to just have, and it's on the way, so it's just kind of a nice little bonus that's going to go into my final loadout.
Been a long while since our last family trip to the battlefront. Makes you wonder just how much Your Highness the pirate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's definitely Archibald.
All right, so hard to clip through the floor there.
How dare she?
So I didn't do the 2-player clip because otherwise she'd just void out and I'd have to reload the area. I kill these guys off for a little bit of EXP.
Time to clean house.
I can get a few more uses of Falling Edge because I've kind of been slacking on that. I'd like to hit that at least before Chapter 8.
So far, so good. So good, it's boring. Don't any of these mooks know how to put up a fight?
I don't know why. For some reason, when I first saw the screenshots of the mana board, I thought of like Rico blooper surfing.
No, it's slightly better than
We would hope it's not that obnoxious to control.
I do another jump here.
I'm not worried, Stone, or anything. Piece of even needs me to
Oh, that's blazing. Okay, I did get enough. Good.
We've got our own stuff to
Fantabulous.
take care of.
Looks like a sturdy one.
Okay, I was able to make that little skip there, save me a few seconds.
There are a lot of really fun movement optimizations you can do in modern East games like these.
Yeah, sorry about the flickering lights. That doesn't actually happen that often. Shouldn't be too bad, but yeah. Okay, 2-player clip again. Get there.
And now we're on another boat.
Watch your foot
Yep,
now.
this is one of the ones we are going to intentionally sink. What? And probably the only one that we intentionally sink while we're on it.
Yeah.
Is true to his name, or true to his lore, I guess. All right.
Well, that's because there's bad guys on it, right?
Yes.
We don't just want a shipwreck for, you know, the fun of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, when it happens to us, it's injustice. When we do it, it's, you know, it's reasonable.
You know, we're sinking it for a good cause.
Yeah. We're sinking it for the whales.
I do have enough, so I don't need to worry about these guys. So here's our final mana release. I'm gonna get 3 there. That Niffle Moose spell. This skill is gonna be useful for many things. It is the best duo skill for breaking things. It is also really useful for a skip we are going to perform in the next chapter, which you'll see soon. It is one of the more complicated looking skips in the
Who
game.
knew the Grieger even had technology like this?
All right, so this is Naglfar, the ship's core.
And there's a Ganondorf. So the core is the actual boss, but
yeah, Other is over there, but he's not really he's not targetable.
He's just there to be annoying. You can get rid of him temporarily, but it's not worth it at this point. When I first played this, Odor fell through the floor and disappeared.
Oh.
Close enough. Even though I had all got one shot there, the boss had no health left, so I was able to get away with it. All right. There are 3 perks to Niflmoose Belt. Does a lot of break damage. It has that glitch. It has the ability to perform a certain skip, and it also applies frost or freeze or frostbite. So it's just a super useful skill.
Hard to say though. This is the Earth, but
yeah, she's transformed into her final form. So this is the point where we actually finally get to kill her.
Yeah, all 3 of the guys that we fought have
Final form.
Final forms, basically. Yeah. With multi-track voice lines at different pitches.
Yeah.
Just sound really creepy.
All right. So she's kind of annoying in that she likes to jump off the screen. Where are you at?
There you're at.
Okay, that's
So
it.
earlier we were talking about variety in gameplay. Here's probably the best example of that.
All right, so this is a 3-minute long just walking simulator as Adol goes through his memories, is being told by people from his past that he's not good enough, and then eventually goes from negative to positive. So we're gonna do a skip here, waiting for the 5th line of text here.
What an idiot. Kid thinks he's too good to settle for the life he's
And then what I'm gonna do is go into the go into the voice line there, and that's gonna make the text box disappear faster. The only way to skip anything in this particular part.
Oh, honestly.
That does also work in like CS3.4.
So we got like a minute and a half of time to kill, so I'll send it over to Draco.
Okay, well, I'd like to give an update on our Super Boss incentive for the end of this run. We are up to $505 out of $750, so we need just shy of $250 to make that happen by the end of this run. And if you need any temptation for that, we have a couple of prizes related to this run, where for a minimum $5 donation, you can have yourself entered for the Adol plush and the Chibi keychains, which have both been very generously provided by James Picard 007 on the couch. Thank you very much for those. Please get your donations in for those and the Super Boss incentive. We do have a $50 donation towards that from Loot Lifter, who says, give that final boss the old 1-2 buckle my shoe.
Oh my god. That's one of my best friends IRL. That is a reference that only like 6 people in the world will get, and
Those are the best kinds of references.
yes, they are. It's what I get from hanging out with you 3. We got plenty of those.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
we got
brought
one.
this on yourself.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for your donation.
When all of us are together. Wait. You're more of a daredevil than you look. Sometimes.
Yeah, this is 3 straight minutes. I do think this is a good scene in casual. Like,
Myself
it's.
included, of course.
I think the funny thing, I guess, with it though, is that like we're only 2 East games in, so he doesn't exactly have like a large backlog of like flashbacks compared to like
Yeah.
East 9, where they do something kind of like this. That they flash back to all sorts of characters he's met along the way. So it's like, yeah, they only have this game to work with here. So this is the ancient key. It's gonna open a treasure chest in Viewpoint Isle. Oh, that is a gold split. I usually don't get both of those boss fights. I usually waste time on both of those boss fights.
See, our emotional support is working wonders.
All right, so this is Mandy. We saved him earlier. He's going to give me a serious ring, which buffs my skill damage in exchange for making it a lot harder to apply burn. Because it like basically gets rid of your ability to do status effects on the character. Anyways, this is chapter 8. It's a very short chapter, and it is my favorite chapter of this game because it's the most fun to actually play. The movement here is just really fun if you can do it well. Most runners don't do this skip the way I do, but this is just what works for me. So here's where we're gonna see the main use of Niflmuspel. That's gonna save us like a minute, assuming we get this quickly enough.
Ready? Go!
I'll take first try.
First try.
Okay, that's a huge relief.
I would have felt bad hitting you with the fallout.
I would have laughed. I knew where you were going with that, but I would have laughed. I did say I would like donate like $5 for every fallout. I don't think it's happened yet in the run, so like I'll make it a minimum.
Yeah, outside of the times you intentionally fell out.
Yes. So we actually have the ability to sail up streams, but there's an invisible wall that prevents us from doing there, so that's why we have to grab the rune tablet, even though we technically have the ability already because of the debug file. Also, in my opinion, I think this is the best track that Mitsuo Singa has composed for any Falcom game. For as much as I don't like the theme that plays on the ship battle, I think he made up for it with one of the sailing tracks that I really like, and then this one here.
What are you two chuckle hucks doing on your phones?
Don't worry about it.
Nothing.
What's this?
Caught the wind! So fast!
So fast you don't even need to be LJ.
Hey! Anyone here?
No.
Nobody here but us chickens.
I'm pretty sure that that's the first boss, that enemy, right, that you just passed?
Looks like it. It might be a small.
There's not a lot of enemy variety in this game.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the not as great parts of this game. Is it is a little bit limited in locales, but it does at least kind of have a consistent feel. Wanted to jump there, but whatever. Want to avoid that one because it's going to shoot me straight into a wall.
Guess we'll just have to go as far down as we can.
Not bad. I usually flub that screen, so get it to go well is...
Yeah, this has been a pretty smooth chapter.
Another 2-piece skip here. Oops, that didn't work.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a bit finicky because where Karja reappears relative to Adol depends on what direction he's facing.
Sometimes you'll just like turn around.
Yeah.
She just immediately gets ejected.
She always appears to his right.
Oh, we got the jump. We got the jump. Had to resort to the backup for Blazel Cross, but
that's still pretty good.
We'll roll with it.
Yep. I almost never get that, so okay. And then in here, we're going to get the Hellblaze tome, which is like double one of the other tomes. All right, so that maxes Revenge Gauge out at 2.8. And here we are up to Mag-Mel, who is Logger's final form. Very annoying fight. He's still resistant to ice, so I'm not going to be able to freeze him. Yeah, anyways, so this blue-haired girl is Leela, who we've been talking to in the story. Getting like mysterious signals from the entire time. She's been held captive here. And we find out the ultimate goal in this chapter is that Karja actually has the seal of like an ancient possessed like Viking force named Rollo. Rollo was like a Viking from like 150 years in the like long in the past. That I think it's 150 years. Like
Sounds about right.
100 they say an exact number. 147.
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but basically,
yeah.
ultimate,
That's Magmel. Pretty quick, easy fight, and because he likes to do his invisible shenanigans, we took him out pretty quickly. Anyways, so he like took some sort of cursed deal with the gods that
no, his mother.
Yeah. His mother took like some sort of cursed deal with the gods to allow him to be born. He ended up growing to be like a vicious Viking, and he eventually gained a heart, married Leela, and had kids. And Karja is actually Leela and Rollo's like great granddaughter, several times removed. Leela is like a divine being, so she's 150 and still looks like centuries old and still looks about as old as Karja.
Anime.
I mean, makes sense. Like, at least the way they justify it. But in any case, it's kind of funny, too, because, like, Grimson calls her, like, my great something or other. Like, the way he's so casual about it is really cool. All right, so we need to go find a seabed temple.
I thought we were going to Balta Island. Damn it, you stole my joke.
Yeah. So the seal of Rollo, like created the 3 big bad Grieger, and what they're trying to do is reawaken the evil of Rollo and unleash it onto the world. So it's been sealed within Karja, and we're kind of like, we've been exiled from basically the villagers that we've been saving throughout the game, and are just kind of it's just the Sondras and the like dedicated crew that stick with us through thick and thin. Meanwhile, the Balta Sea Force are trying to chase us down and kill us because, you know, at any moment, the great evil within Karja could reawaken, and that would be, like, catastrophic.
Like a total bummer.
Yes. So we're trying to find the alternative method to set her free that doesn't involve killing her.
Ghost, I'm really sorry. I tried to donate to the Super Boss thing, but PayPal's not letting me log in on my phone.
Oh, boy.
Dodge one vortex and run into another, over and over and over. What's with this place?
It's such a death trap. You almost have to laugh.
Death traps are not that funny, my friend.
No, that's not what normal people do.
Also, he says basically the same thing in Japanese. So if you think it's like a weirdly translated line, no, that's just how he says it. Yeah. I don't know. He's just kind of casual about the whole thing. All right, Seabed Temple, another place for really cool movement. A lot harder than Chapter 8 to get right. All right, so I'm going to do a jump off of this downward staircase. Blaze will cross. And see if I can... okay, I can't, so backup plan.
It would seem that beasts have since found their way in, however.
Okay, I got the backup. All is bueno.
Thank you, Spider Adel.
What's this?
Yes, Karja, that was a switch.
Oh, but I want to switch too.
Which you too can win if you donate a minimum of $200 across the entire marathon. Hey, I am still technically staff, so I gotta do my
Gotta push.
My host
Could you
club.
tell?
I want to switch to 2.
I want a tutu.
I do love the gag that Miria came up with for just putting a Switch 1 box and just putting a note over it. So glad we got to show that off. Alrighty, so here we're just hanging on this, waiting for this to go upwards. I have mana line bound to L3, and holding L3 is really awkward, I'm sure, as you can imagine.
It's like the button I forget exists half the time.
Nope. Alright, so take that, take that. And just kind of skip that. Yeah, the platforms are really helpful in a lot of places for just going fast.
First time we've used ice in a while.
but not fire.
Fire.
I mean, we don't ever really... We use fire like once to actually... Twice to proceed. We'll see it again later. But it's mostly just used for getting additional SP.
Yeah.
100 years of neglect. It pains me a bit to see.
All right.
Full sword.
This is one of the more annoying clips to do because this enemy loves to aggro me, so I'm just take him out quickly.
Together as one.
Nope.
Form up. Together as one.
There we go. And that's not what's supposed to happen.
Karja.
Form up. Form up.
Yeah, this is like one of the more annoying clips. All right.
Whee!
So that skips a whole bunch of this that screen.
Yeah, that looked intended.
Yeah, so you actually don't lose momentum when sailing up watery slopes like that, so it's actually better to not jump or BLJ there. Same here.
Can't let your guard down with this one.
All right.
Runs right past them.
All right, so this next boss is going to be two of the Balta Sea Force, Gunnar and Philia. They're kind of major characters in the story, sort of. Gunnar's like one of Karja's, like, I guess, retainers.
Story in my East game?
All right.
More likely than you think.
Yes. Okay.
Ooh, very good.
Not just because of
That does a ton of damage. So one more. Okay, didn't quite happen, but yep. Oh, we took him out pretty quickly. So getting one of those red power attack guard specials
Combat in this
does
game.
a lot.
Combat in this game is a lot more interesting when you're fighting multiple opponents.
Yeah, because they actually share health bars is the funny thing. So
And it kind of feels like the blue speed attacks justify themselves more if you're fighting two things at once.
oh come on, Jado, you told me this was a safer strat,
This is
and I've been getting it perfectly every time until now.
This is bringing back ugly Nayuta flashbacks. Oh, there's $5.
Yep. There's one fallout.
It's just so
Doesn't
funny
even
when
save that much time. It's just fun to do.
it's just so funny when like you run into the guy with the surfboard and they just go ah.
I mean, what else can you do?
I don't know, get out of the way maybe, or maybe Adol can wait for the light to turn green.
Well, what's a light?
At all. Pioneer of vehicular homicide.
Here goes.
I mean, we have been ramming things with the boat, so.
Yes, we
Boat
have. I mean,
count as a vehicle for that purpose? I mean, probably somebody does. That was scuffed, but I'll take it.
you voided out again, by the way.
Yeah, so that's 10. Okay, let's take this slope down here, try to avoid these enemies, especially the big guy. Go up here, preserve momentum as much as I can so I can get down these slopes, get a little bit of extra speed. Jump these stairs, and then I have basically lost all my momentum at this point, so I'm going to get a little bit off of this mound of dirt here, carry that over here, and lose it, but it's fine. We'll just make tracks, I think. All right. Got the BLJ.
I'm not sure at all understands how a board works.
I mean, with all the rubbing up against the ground the board's doing right now, it'll make some tracks.
Maybe.
This is unlucky.
What did it? Dora.
Gotta clip through that one with a jump. BLJ up here. I've lost most of my speed, unfortunately, but I'll carry it up here and get more of it there. All right. So far, the Seabed Temple's not been bad. So here we're going to finally face the final form of Other, who is a giant mermaid in this form. Now, if I can apply Freeze when he's very low and get a perfect revenge attack, 'cause at this point my seals have just given me absolutely ludicrous sums of damage if I can get that off.
Are you mastered Niffle Muffle?
If everything goes right, I can basically skip his entire like main health bar, but that's probably not going to happen. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, that just does massive damage. If he is frozen there, that would have killed him instantly. And now he just plays the get back here game.
My gratitude to you for rebuking my misbegotten.
He's a Shakespearean villain in an East game, basically. He loves just chewing the scenery. Okay, this will kill and dead.
Nice fight.
It was okay. If I can skip that final phase, then like that's big, but alas, I could not. All right, so we're gonna do something a little weird here, and that is set the game's difficulty as high as possible. For one very particular reason, which is we are going to intentionally lose a fight here. Doesn't matter whether you win or lose. But yeah, Karja's like gone completely berserk at this point.
Yeah, this is the part of the game where we get hit by a car.
Yes.
Joe.
You know, we've been committed vehicular homicide. I guess it's only fair we get it in turn.
What goes around comes around.
And the final boss literally becomes a ghost boat and slams himself into me, so like we will see that anyways.
Karma is a something, you know.
Cruel mistress.
Yes.
Anyways, so here, now that I can finally sail up these slopes, I can make my way up here, and this is where we're basically doing the final like vision to viewpoint isle. Viewpoint isle, viewpoint island. I don't remember which of the two. They're mostly synonymous anyway.
Is there a difference between an isle and island? I never thought about it.
Chat, please donate and tell me what the difference between an isle and an island is.
And put it towards the Vermother incentive.
Yes. Also, 2 fishing old men. I gotta point that out.
As we said, fishing's great.
Apparently my late game has been going so well, I'm like ahead of my PB.
Oh.
So yeah, the incentive will kill PB, but please make it happen. Please. Also, it's cheating because I handed James the controller, which makes it a co-op. It's run invalid.
We're such sticklers for that in the East RTA community. You know that, Kumo.
I mean, the problem is it'd be a real-time PB, and we use loadless, so I wouldn't actually know how much it is, and I'm probably saving a lot of time on just having a better PC than I do at home.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're chasing off to try and actually land on Viewpoint Island properly this time. Of course, it keeps disappearing because it's a mystical island. Please tell me I can... Okay, I have enough. I have way more than enough. One run I didn't have enough, and it stank so bad that I couldn't. All right, so this is the barrier impact. It's kind of just a burst damage skill, so I'm just gonna like chill for a second. And they all die.
Rip.
Did they?
I missed it.
I fell asleep for a second.
The ship.
You're fine, random NPC.
I think that's Cruz. So this part's kind of great. So at this point, Karja has like become so berserk that like so close to like unleashing the seal on Rollo that she's like barely able to maintain like any semblance of self. She doesn't talk. like you don't hear voice lines from her. It's kind of unsettling. Like she can't really talk because she's just spending all of her energy on just not losing control of herself. We're gonna do a skip here, make sure I'm on the center, wait till about here, save. And then that's just gonna push me through the spider web that's on the ceiling. Yep. So we're gonna go and, I don't know why I did that. That's like instinct to just want to kill like
spite.
Just,
They look
spite.
wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, so here's Grimson. Karja is so mad at her dad for like not trying to help her and like, you know, I guess she sees it as like the easy way that she regains her like control, like a bit of her control of herself because she's just so angry at her dad.
Too bad it's also the most you can handle.
It's kind of amazing. All right, so yeah, that red power skill is scripted when he gets to 50% HP, and you can just one-shot the rest of his health bar. What's really nice, too, is we carry our 2.8 times multiplier into the next area. So hopefully if I don't hit any enemies, I'll have this going into the final boss. Because that was the second to last boss of the run. Or the third to last, if the super boss has been met. Draco, do we have an update on that?
Well, I'm pleased to say that we have met the incentive.
Let's go.
Did get some very incredible support there. We had $50 from Sporadic Erratic, who said super boss. And we also had $100 from the couch from James Picard 007. So thank you all, everyone who helped to make that happen.
Yes.
We like watching you suffer.
Thank you.
I think we can
You killed my PB for this. Well, we did it for charity. Also, there's no guarantee. The final boss of this game can be kind of rough.
Charity's always a good excuse anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You do hear countless tales of ships colliding with them and sinking.
Like they say, nature's as beautiful as it is cruel.
All right, so what we're going to do for the super boss, it's going to add 10 extra minutes to the estimate, so just as a heads up.
Seems the Bolta Sea Force has already withdrawn from
The island to get to the super boss is to the west of the final dungeon. So what I'm gonna do is make a save just before the final dungeon, go off and fight the super boss, and then reload the save afterwards, just because it's kind of a pain to get back to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, I think it would be a little more interesting to do the final boss at level 74 instead of 79. Yeah.
But that's slow.
While you're heading over there, Ghost, just like to point out that we had $50 also from De Wolf, who provided an answer to your earlier question. An island is a small area of land entirely surrounded by water, while an isle is a corridor in a grocery store.
That is a bold joke to make when you're about 20 feet away from me. I will come over there after this run. You're stuck there for the next however long your shift is.
I'll punish you for that.
Shout outs to our late night tech crew.
You don't have any ground to stand on, Bramhall.
Weather's taking a turn for the worse.
I've got a sinking feeling about this.
Did make the save. Okay.
That just makes me want to plow on even more. Am I right? Oh, wise Master Adel.
Don't call him that.
I get that you're curious, but at least try to have some.
It's pronounced Adol.
Also, fun fact: the pink-haired girl. So in this version, in English, she's voiced by, and I don't quite know how to pronounce her name, Inaris Kinonis. In Japanese, she's voiced by Yoshino Aoyama, most recently famous for being the voice of Bochi from Bochi the Frog. And it just makes me chuckle anytime I hear her in a role that isn't just like screaming for help.
I think we can try.
All right, so this is Yotun Island. This is where we fight the super boss. This is gonna be an interesting one. I'm gonna just do this for a little bit of safety.
Yeah, no point not.
I never even found this guy, and I played this game twice.
When you have infinite red seals, you just get to do it.
Okay, have the mead. All right, skills. Okay.
Let's go.
All right, time for the super boss. So this is your mother. I mean, for mother.
So you did me.
It's more like her mother.
I was wondering if you were going to be brave enough for it.
Anyway, this boss is just pain. It looks like a giant puppet Grieger, but it has a lot of really nasty attacks. But this fight looks simple at first, but it's going to be just an absolute clown show once we get to about halfway.
You saw a tiny little sneak peek of it with that lightning attack it did early on. That's going to get a whole lot worse.
So he's going to slam his fist in the ground. If he doesn't, it summons a bunch of lightning, which lightning is awful. It's unpredictable and hard to guard. And does a lot of damage because we're doing this. This is a level 99 fight. We're doing it level 74. We are doing this on the easy difficulty still. I've tried doing this on any difficulty higher, and it would take way too darn long. Okay, so got the mana burst. That's actually the best time to get it.
Power attack.
All right, so now we're getting thunder. Yeah, power attack, right. I keep wanting to call it mana burst because it's just what's in my head because I kept forgetting what an actual mana burst is. That's a mana burst. So he's also immune to status effects.
So no frostbite for us.
Nope. Yeah, so this might look simple enough, but yeah, anything that he does to hit me, any mistakes will like basically kill me.
That's what the meat is here for. It's just safety.
Yes.
Is meat a full heal?
It's a revive that I only plan to use if I see him in a situation where I'm like, I absolutely will die here, and I do not want to spend more than one attempt on this guy if I can help it. That was not what I was supposed to do there.
That black orb attack thing, he pretty much has to be perfect guarded.
Yes. That attack right there as well, by the way, if I don't do the dodge roll, he just, he like staggers me and then like hits me with the hammer, which will do like all of my health.
As one might expect from getting hit with a giant magical hammer.
Parasite 2019.
See? So I can buffer this because I know how long that animation takes.
Iframes in East feels illegal.
It really does. This is not a series known for having them.
And I think this game isn't exactly an exception to that, but it's just that it's why you're reviving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not doing a lot of dodging.
Yeah, it takes so much darn break damage to finish him. Okay, so that'll kill the last 3 shields. Make sure I watch out for the lightning. I do actually a little bit of additional damage if I hit an enemy from the back, but it's not really worth like actively planning for. Ow. Yep. Okay.
Hey, you killed him.
So yeah, he will go through one final phase when he gets to 1 HP, no matter what. Yeah, so I can't even see where the lightning would be spawning to try and dodge there. Okay, so here he's going to slam to the ground, and here I can actually get one of these. Doesn't do much, but better than nothing.
Right.
And it knocks him down for a little bit.
Yes.
That's less time he can spend calling down lightning.
Yep.
Did that poison you?
No.
Paralysis.
Can be paralyzed, though.
It did something.
It made you change color slightly.
Yeah, if you get hit enough by the lightning, it will paralyze you.
You're yellow now. That's his attack.
Yep.
Get back on your feet.
to put you out. Switch out!
So now I don't even have like armor that I can use. I don't have like the health to like boost through attacks. So
Yeah, good call.
I used that on the wrong character. Okay, it's not the worst case scenario. It means that Adol has some health for revive.
Oh yeah, if you move too far, the dead party member just follows you.
I'm just doing that to get through that attack. Okay.
GG.
Very nicely done.
Even made it through without the knee.
I mean, I
used the heal.
I didn't use it as the way I intended to, but it did help me out just enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we get the ability to craft strength elixirs and use and get 10 additional mana points. So that is the secret. That is the super boss. It's kind of a pain to get back here, so we're just going to load the save that we made earlier. But thank you all so much for donating. NAMI is a wonderful cause that is very near and dear to my heart. So any additional money that any run that I can put forth to help raise money for them means a lot to me. All right, so now we have finally accessed the proper part of the cicatrix, and this is the location of Viewpoint Isle that we can actually land on properly without going into a vision. So we're gonna warp to outside of the old man's hut. This is why we set this warp point here twice. We find that there's actually a portrait of Leela in this house, which kind of gives you a clue as to who the old man is, which is sort of a mystery throughout the game. Once again, I'm gonna use two-player clip here to get her through the door. Get close enough to the door that's not super close, and then I can open it from this end. So this is Heim's Cringela, the final sword of the weapon, or final sword of the game.
Bro, you just posted cringe.
You will lose subscriber.
I ended up getting the sword twice based on messing up the sequence of this section.
What's funnier than cringe?
we ended up with we ended up with double swords. All right.
I don't think that's how you pronounce the name of the sword.
No.
So I don't actually have to go into the menu to equip it because the game will auto-equip it for me.
Let's proceed with caution.
So I can do a skip here. Hopefully the enemy behaves. Sometimes it doesn't.
If you have two Heim's Kriglas, one of them will be in your inventory, and the game will detect that it's in your inventory and think that you don't have it equipped.
Yeah,
it'll force it onto you for the final boss. They really didn't want like a East 1 situation where like if you forget to equip the silver sword, you just can't beat the game. So they just like tell you outright. Like they just force it onto you basically. All right, so here's the like true entrance to the final dungeon, Farlundheim.
But thou must wield the cringe.
And yes, shout outs to Yukihiro Jindo. We all, that's 3. Anyway, shout outs to Yukihiro Jindo and his theme that he's composed for this final dungeon. It's one of the better themes in this game.
We don't deserve Jindo.
That's great.
I think I do.
Fine, be a hog.
Well, you're pompous.
All right,
no,
so
that's Bramhall.
I don't have any ability. Oh, that's unfortunate. So I don't have any ability to BLJ.
Got him obliterated.
I don't have any ability to BLJ my way up here, so I kind of want to like preserve my downward momentum by jumping, but I ended up losing it anyway. I'm gonna go for a skip here. I am only going to go for this once.
$100 if you make it, you won't.
Nope, I won't.
Well, at least it's 20.
Yep. Okay, so thankfully I can just use the support platforms here and fail. There's 25. The rock came into my pathway, so...
Came in clutch.
As a note, I do have a plan for where I want to, what I want to put that money towards, which is sadly not for an incentive that's open just yet, but I will get that by the end of the week.
Gotcha.
So I know that the tradition is to donate right after, but there is actually some like an incentive that I really want to make happen, that I know is eventually going to be added to the tracker.
I mean, my brain is mush right now anyway, so you shouldn't trust me with any kind of money right now.
All right, give me your cards.
Fine.
Give me the 3 wacky digits.
They're of more than make, aren't they?
All right.
Alright, fine. Let's see here. 429. No.
Okay, I'm not going to make it. Thankfully, I have a backup. Thank you to Fallen Sue for informing me of this backup.
The way that these skips used to be done, actually, is you would just mash switch and attack. And it would just be switch, switch, switch.
Yeah, and you'd have to turn two-player mode off, which is just real annoying to have to do for one thing.
Looks like that cannon still works.
So we're going to finally get skilled by drinking the skill potion here in a moment.
This cures skill issues.
Yep.
Your laptop falls asleep while Live Split is running?
It's fine. This ain't PBing, so it's not really anything I have to worry about. Okay. That jump's pretty free, but it is an annoying time loss if you mess it up.
Alley-oop.
It's the contrast between the epic orchestral final dungeon music and Adol just zip zooming on a hoverboard.
There's a lot of set pieces like that in the E-Series, in our speedruns.
Yeah.
All right, once again, I can do a 2P jump here. First try, very nice.
Very good.
Have we done any of the Raven puzzles as intended?
Nope.
This is East. What do you think?
Is that a mechanic we've even had to explain at this point?
Nope. I only have to do it a few times in the game. You'd have to split up the two to do separate sections. But since there's just glitches to skip out of things. Yeah. 2P mode is like a PC port exclusive thing added by the person who ported the studio who ported the game, PH3, as kind of an experimental for fun thing. It just happens to enable several of the really fun glitches. So we do allow it, although it is kind of a variable that we have.
Fallout!
Thank you.
Perhaps this is how the lost Norman homeland once looked. No doubt
Alrighty.
it felt just the same.
So I can make this jump without the skill potion, but ironically, I'm not skilled enough for that. So while in the menu, that refreshes my SP, and I can use a skill again. And we can just get right up here, and that saves like a minute of just annoying navigating around this dungeon. And so we are coming up on the final boss. So the final boss is actually Rollo, the big bad of the game, who in fact is the old man, and he has replenished a lot of his life force. And in order to finally break the seal, even though we've defeated all the big bad, big bad Grieger, the world won't be safe until Rollo is gone. So we're basically going to give him a proper final fight before we can send him to the afterlife and end this curse once and for all. We also let him fight with his wife. So yeah, they go into their true forms, and we get one of the coolest final bosses this series has ever had.
And yeah, there are a lot of really cool cinematic attacks that you can do, and there's several of them that happen on, unfortunately we have to skip them because it's just not time efficient, but they happen on phase transitions and
oh god, that's gonna just
get dunked on.
That did nothing. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, so we mainly want to focus on Rollo here, but Leela's just gonna be shooting attacks off in the background and making this real annoying. The nice thing is, oh, I don't even see what hit me. The nice thing is that Niffle Muspel also does inflict freeze as well, so. All right, so this is second phase of the boss. We don't get a heal. I do not want to use my mead because we don't normally have it for this run. If I die to this guy, I will use it on my second attempt. So I'm not going to use the retaliation attack here because I want to save it for this next phase.
For when he doesn't have any break gauge left?
Yes. Oh, that's right.
sometimes he just goes invincible for no reason.
Yeah, so for this particular phase, He's invulnerable for a bit. He's going to do an attack, or 2 attacks here. They're fairly easy to guard. Also, Adol has now been inflicted with Paralyze, which really stinks. Oh, here he's turning himself into a boat.
He's actually on the boat, but it's funnier to say he turned into a boat.
Yes. All right. Yes. Skip the phase. Dang, even with the incentive, we're still going to be sub 210. All right, that was a very good run.
Yeah, you really popped off there.
Yeah, for my skill level, that was very good. All right, so time is going to be fairly soon. We need to just talk to all the NPCs in the game that we met along the way. We haven't really interacted with them much just because we skipped all the cutscenes. Anyway, this is Dr. Flare, who's like from East 2 and East 6, I believe. There's kind of a little shout out to continuity for this.
There is
series.
a button that skips all cutscenes instead of just one at a time, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Ren here is very talkative. I need to enter 4 text prompts here. But yeah, so we're just saying goodbye before we're going off on our next adventure. So I just want to say huge shout outs to the East community. My buddies here for helping to commentate here and just kind of being a little bit of a fun little peanut gallery.
It's what we're good for.
Shout outs again to Jado, Ame. Shout outs to Zvyair, another runner of this game, and another top runner of several 3D East games, doing the Japanese restream commentary. So here, I can actually warp to Karnak because of strange things, because we're not supposed to go this way. And then we go here, and then skip that, and that is time.
Sub 210.
I'll take that.
With the incentive.
Yes.
Deathless, too.
Yeah. That's really nice. All right. Let me skip the credits. They're very nice credits, but we get like this kind of nice little final fin scene here. But yeah, everybody, please stay tuned for the rest of the marathon. I'll keep the wrap up brief.
Yep.
Got pretty awesome runs coming up later today. The next run is going to be Necronox by Palmer. Look forward to that. That is quite a run. So appreciate y'all, and take care.
Thank you so much, GK, for that incredible run, and thank you to Schtolteheim, James Picard, and Bramhall on the couch. And thank you all to RPG Limit Break and everyone who helped make that incentive happen. That was just incredible. As mentioned, Anachronox is going to be next with Palmer. I'm not going to be joining you for that run. My time as host is up, so thank you very much for having me. I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Alice Rujasu to take you through the next run with Palmer. So thank you all very much, and I'll be signing off.
morning RPG Limit Break. My name's Alice Rajasu. I'll be hosting this next run, which is going to be an Acronox, any percent by Palmer. We're just getting that set up now, so stay tuned for a bit.